2 lead after 2 periods, but I wouldn't turn off my TV, not just yet. With us in between the periods, a guy who has seen every Penguin game and certainly was there for every word and every step of the way for both Cup runs, the voice of the Penguins, Mike Lang. Mike, as you look back on it now, here we are in Game 5. You look back to Game 4. Did you begin to really believe that after they killed the 5-minute penalty in Game 4 in Minnesota, that was it, that was the turning point?
I think that all the buildup that had gone into that series with a lot of people, I think, forget about the noise in the building in Minnesota, where they were invincible. They were not going to lose a game in that building. And, I mean, they were really gung-ho and determined to beat Pittsburgh, and they walked in and basically just stole, I think, the series away from them at that point and took it away. I think going in, I really do stand that they had a legitimate shot to beat Minnesota, and I think, you know, obviously it proved out. But that 5-minute penalty kill was certainly a big part of it, and they just came together as a team. I mean, during the playoffs, and they just seemed determined to want to take it away from anybody.
I remember taking a plane up with you to New Jersey on a Saturday morning for Game 6, the night of the Peter Angelo, the save. And you said to me, they could do it. They could do it. And Paul said earlier in the series that you guys were on a plane coming back from Washington when they wrapped that up in 5.
I think the key to that series was of course, Frankie and a lot of things. But Kevin Stevens was just so determined. He really showed his worth, I think, to the Penguin team during that series, and basically just took the game away from New Jersey. I mean, they were settled in and thought that they were going to cruise on, and Kevin just stepped up and said, no, it's my ball game now, and that was kind of a stepping stone to it. And there's so many factors that came together in that. The coaching of Bob Johnson, certainly. I mean, the thing that stands out to me, looking at the overall series, all of them, is how well organized the Penguins were. And that's a big tribute to Bob Johnson. I mean, they knew details of the other team right down to the minute level, and there were a lot of factors involved. Pierre McGuire, who was an assistant coach or a scout at the time, did a lot of scouting for that. But Bob Johnson took all that information, assembled it, put it together, put a game plan together for all the series. And I remember telling him after, I've never seen a coach as organized as he was, and I think that's a big reason why they won the Stanley Cup.
I think where Scotty was scouting as well, Scotty Bowman.
Yep.
What about the emotional factor he played? I was mentioning to Paul Steigerwald, not only was he educating his team on the perils of going through 4 series and you have to win 4, but he was educating all of us as we went along too.
There's no question about it, and I think he drew on the experience that he had from college days and also in the pros. I mean, he knew the level to get players mentally at, and he did an excellent job at it. I mean, he built them during the course of the season. I remember early in the season, I mean, him just shaking his head and going, we got to get some help on defense. We got to get some help, and he kept rubbing his forehead, and he kept saying, we've got to do something. And obviously, I mean, Craig Patrick and the Penguins ended up making some key deals to help them. But I remember him looking at it, and he says, well, we're getting better, we're getting better, we're getting better. And he just put the puzzle together and made it work. And then he got everybody, all the players, even the great players, all the way down to the bottom 20th player. And he got them all believing in themselves personally and then as a team. And I think that was the key to success. I really do.
Outside of the infusion of additional talent that Ron Francis, Ulf Samuelsson, and the key roles that they played in Murphy and Taglianetti, what changed, Mike, from even the middle of the regular season to a point in the playoffs where they were galvanized and became a legitimate Stanley Cup team?
Well, a lot of factors. I mean, I think most people felt they had a lot of talent on this hockey club, the Pittsburgh team, and it really hadn't come to the level that everybody thought they would. I mean, they had Mario Lemieux, and they had so many good players, but it never gelled together, and it was just always one step short. And again, I hate to go back to Bob Johnson, and I give Craig Patrick a lot of credit for hiring Bob Johnson, but that was the real turning point, I think, of the franchise and starting to believe that they could win, and they believed in Bob Johnson, and it filtered down from Lemieux all the way down again to the bottom players, and it made it work. I think another thing people need to remember is that it was just not 20 players. We ended up with about 25, 26, and in both Cup years, it takes 26, 27 during the course of the regular season to win a Stanley Cup, and it isn't easy, as you know. It ain't easy.
The way Jim Pack and Paul Stanton came in, and guys like Gilbert Delorme and Barry Peterson and those guys, you know, along on the trip and practicing. For you personally, during that, any one of the 4 series, what was the low point when you thought, it's not going to happen, they're not going to do it?
Well, I'm going to be very honest with you. I thought after Minnesota won Game 1, because I was so convinced by the stats that if you lost Game 1 in the finals, you were not going to win it. I really thought at that point their dream was going to come true. I had a strong feeling that we were not going to be able to come back and do it. And I mean, I thought that, especially the way they did it, they held on and won the game, and we couldn't score, and we tried, and I said, uh-oh. I said, it isn't going to happen, and you have to understand all the frustrations in Pittsburgh over the years of getting to a certain point and then dropping off the end of the earth, if you will, and not even to the finals. I mean, it happened so many times, and I started, and even going into the final game, which they eventually won, they won at 8-0. I believe that Minnesota could score 8 goals in a minute and a half until it happened, until it was over, Stan. I'm telling you, that's just the history of the Penguins.
Oh, that's 18 years in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Watching the Penguins will do that to you. When did you become convinced that they were going to do it? I thought the low point, or the Pittsburgh entered into it a minute before Game 3 was about to start, and the word came up that Murray was not going to play. And I said, well, this is typical. You know, who wouldn't have figured that? Was it the penalty kill? Was it winning Game 5?
It's hard to say. Again, I go back after Game 1, but they showed me a lot of ability to come back, and they didn't get down. And then as the series progressed, I think the key to the series was the breaking of John Casey, the goaltender. They had broken every goaltender in every series to that point. They broke him, and they took the game away from him. And he had been so spectacular in the series that he had played in. And I mean, as you look at the Cup years the Penguins had, and particularly, key series, they ended up breaking goaltenders, and that was a big factor.
Lastly, can you recall the first thought that entered your mind, Game 6, when it was over, when they had won? Not what you said on the air. Everybody remembers that, and we'll hear that in a couple of days. Can you remember the first thought that went through your mind?
It's just disbelief. I mean, it's like you can't believe that it's going to happen. And you want to know the honest truth? I was trying to figure out what we were going to do next after the commercial break, and because I knew we had to go downstairs, and I didn't know the situation, what it was going to be in the locker room, and I ended up talking for a long time. What I tried to do as soon as the game was over, is I started piecing things together that I could talk about until Staggy could get down there, and I knew there was going to be pandemonium, and I must have talked for about 8 or 9 minutes straight, but I knew that was facing me when it was done. My job wasn't over. I couldn't enjoy it because I had to go back and finish up working before I went down to him.
Ever the professional, didn't I? I saw him in the locker room soaking wet, and he enjoyed it then.
Oh, yeah.
Mike, thanks for being with us.
All right, Stan.
Okay. Coming up, the third period of game number 5 at the Pittsburgh Civic Arena. Terrific period of hockey. Kind of scary, but the Pens prevail. We'll be back with the third period face-off in just a moment.
It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh, and there's a season ticket plan for every fan. The full season plan gives you the biggest per-game discount of all. You won't miss a minute of the action, as you'll get tickets to all 41 regular season home games. Full season purchasers can take advantage of the only 12-month payment plan in all of professional sports. That's as long as 12 months over which to spread the cost of your season tickets. And it's interest-free. Full season ticket holders can also take advantage of a ticket return plan and their own personal sales representative, someone who's always just a phone call away. With a People's Choice plan, you choose the 30 games that you want to attend. That's the 30 games you want to see at a discounted per-game price. The half-season plan gives you 2 options. The Gold plan is 20 pre-selected games, and the Black plan gives you 21 pre-selected home contests, all at a great discount. The Sampler plan gives you a choice of 4 different pre-selected 10 and 11 game mini plans, again at a great discount. The Flex Coupon Book features 10 discounted coupons, each redeemable for a Penguin ticket. The coupons can be used in any combination. 1 coupon for each of 10 games, 2 coupons for each of 5 games, or all 10 coupons for 1 game. As I said, with the Penguins, there's a plan for every fan. All season ticket plans and Flex book holders will receive playoff ticket priority over the general public. For information on Penguin ticket plans, just call 642-PENS. Operators are standing by now to take your call. Looking for a great night out for 20 or more of your friends, relatives, or co-workers? Well, try a Penguin home game. Groups of 20 or more can receive a great discount. Just pick a game and call the Pens at 642-PENS. If you're more interested in tickets for an individual Penguins game, then call 333-SEAT. You got to be a season ticket holder to believe it.
You're watching an encore presentation of Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup hockey on the KBL Sports Network.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Pittsburgh Steelers are celebrating the NFL's 75th anniversary by bringing back this 1933 replica game jersey. The jersey will be worn by the Steelers in 2 regular season games. It's tailored with a heavyweight nylon body featuring the number 29 on the back and the City of Pittsburgh crest circa 1933 on the front. Sure to be a collector's item, the throwback jersey is just $49.95. To order, call 1-800-570-4KBL. In Pittsburgh, call 788-8575.
I want this motorcycle. I gotta have this motorcycle. My life is nothing without this motorcycle.
Suzuki's can't beat the deal days. It's 0 down and 9.9% financing on a Katana 750, Intruder 800 or RF 900R. Can't beat the deal days from Suzuki.
Thank you.
See your Suzuki dealer or call 1-800-828-RIDE.
2 goals in the period, a shorthanded goal by the North Stars, Dave Gagne. That was Ronnie Francis's goal. Sorry, I apologize to you. But that was the one that made it 5-2 Pittsburgh.
And believe me, that is a huge goal.
By the way, the report on Barrasso, did you give that at all? Is that he has a slight groin pull, is the word we're receiving from the Penguins.
And when you have a groin pull, it's possible that Tommy could have continued to play, but the Penguins had a 4-1 lead. They've got a backup goaltender. They've got another backup goaltender, Wendell Young, who's allowed to go down and dress in that situation when the first guy goes down, so that you always have an extra guy on the bench. And I'm sure that the Penguins took it as a precautionary situation, figuring that if they had the lead, then why risk him pulling it even more and knocking him right out of the playoffs?
You got to look for the North Stars here to try and really get back into this game early in the 3rd period. They're down 5-2. And you're playing for the Stanley Cup right now, so it's not like a regular season game where you just might go kind of through the motions and finish it off and hope that you able to bounce back. They've got to really put the pressure on the Penguins. And they have the puck now, bringing it to center. And it's Mike Modano. Modano moves in. He is hit heavily by Samuelson on a good solid check. Over for it'll be Stevens, and play is stopped now as somebody had his helmet knocked off.
Samuelson.
One thing in this game the North Stars have not done as much as they've done in the prior 4 is use the body against the Penguins. But remember this too, they got down very quickly 4-0, and that kind of takes you out of that type of game because you don't know, if all of a sudden they start calling penalties, and then you get into a worse situation. So they are not quite as physical as they had been in the first 4. Modano battling off Samuelson.
Alfie got the left glove up into the face of Modano, and Modano came right back with that right hand and chopped it down over the head of Ulf Samuelson and knocked his helmet off. Alfie does tend to bury his head at times when he goes in against guys, and I'm sure that players have been talking about the style that he uses to hit you and how you might be able to get him back. And one way would be, I guess, to take the back of his head and do something with that, similar to a boxer. Joe Frazier used to burrow in against Muhammad Ali and he'd hold his head down.
Well, the best head maneuver of the night was Basil McRae on a headbutt on Kevin Stevens.
Absolutely.
And here to center ice. Dealt away to the Penguin zone. Peter Angelo sets it up. He'll leave it in the near corner. Gagne went after for the North Stars, trying to beat Gordy Roberts. Got a half a step on him, but Roberts reached in with a stick and pulled it off his blade and fires it ahead now to Phil Bourque. Bourque, Recchi, and Mario Lemieux on the ice for the Penguins. 5-2 Pittsburgh here in the 3rd period. Neil Wilkinson giving the puck to Jimmy Johnson. Johnson works it down the right wing boards. This will be an icing call if the Penguins get there first, and Murphy will and touch it. And that brings it back to Minnesota territory with 18:54 to go in regulation time. Penguins out shooting Minnesota 23-16 in the first 2 periods. You may remember in game 2 the North Stars trailed in that game going to the 3rd period, but had a big 3rd period shot wise. Barrasso very tough in goal, out shooting the Penguins 16-5, and had 40 shots on the night finished up with against the Penguins. What they're going to try and do is this, they're trying to get into the game here, but as it progresses, they got to be playing for game 6, and if they feel that the Penguins have the upper hand here in this one. And like I said, there's no tomorrow. You're not going to win the cup. One of these two teams is going to win the cup. I mean, it isn't like you're going to play each other a couple of weeks and it's regular season and you're jockeying. No, this is the marbles here. And from the faceoff, a shot by the Penguins went right over the head of Brian Hayward. Grabbed now with the North Stars, and they gun back to center. And Bobby Smith will lay it away on the backhand of the Penguin left wing corner. Stanton comes in. He'll get the puck around the boards to Phil Bourque. And Bourque clear it out. He can't. Still loose. Penguins look for it. There's Lemieux with that long reach, and he'll just flip it out of the zone. Mario's been so effective tonight at getting the loose pucks with that long reach that he has. North Stars again start the rush into the Penguins in. Right wing, Bobby Smith with a backhander. Braden runs a save. Rebound, score. Alf Dahlen. Just exactly what the North Stars wanted to do. Score early. And they do as Alf Dahlen gets the goal. Tempers heat up after, but the North Stars will walk away from that. They've scored for the third time tonight to make it 5-3. And it comes at 1:36 of the third period. Bobby Smith with that backhander again. Boy, that has caused so many problems for teams in the playoffs this year. And Peter Angelo made the initial save, but Alf Dahlen able to crank it in, and it's now a 5-3 game.
Smith just cruising down that right side, just whipped it to the net. Peter Angelo made the save. And Dahlen going to the net. Mario Lemieux didn't have him. He was wide open as he went to the goal. And he got the rebound and put it in.
Dahlen with the goal, right place, right time, his second of the playoffs from Smith and Duchesne, and it's 5-3. The North Stars again, as I said, looking for any little edge they can get to get back into the hockey game, and they're back into it again now. They're down by 2. They need 2 to tie. Trottier against Mark Bureau. And Minnesota controls the draw. Dahlquist backpedaling. And ahead to center circle where it's stolen by Peter Taglianetti. Taglianetti dumping it behind the Minnesota net. Dahlquist again around the wood. Basil McRae challenged by Jaromir Jagr. Jagger's pass up through comes to center to the North Stars, however, and here's Bureau trying to get in. He cannot do it. Tenorti corrals it at center red for the North Stars. And Jagr steps into him as Tenorti whips it back into the Penguin right wing corners. Here's Samuelson avoiding that check by Mark Bureau. Collision between McRae and Bob Airy. And Pittsburgh back on the move, coming to center ice. Ulf Samuelson to Jaromir Jagr. Oh, as he belted by Tenorti. Got him with his head down. Here's Airy, though, with a puck, and he tried to put it in, and he couldn't do it. Now Tenorti returning that check that Jagr put it to him, and he lined him up. And here's Samuelson out the blue line, shooting the puck into the near corner. So Jagr got a little taste of when you check somebody, what might happen. And here is Trottier trying to center, cut up neatly by Chris Dahlquist. Dahlquist just plays it up the sideboards and up ice. The North Stars want to get some changes here. And Jagr and McRae just whacked Jagr as he came off towards the bench with a stick. We'll take a timeout. 17-19 to go. Frazier just said something to McRae. He might send him off here. He just motioned to him. He's giving him a warning. That's what he just did right there. We'll be back on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I remember covering training camp in Johnstown, and Eddie Johnston, in his first go-around as coach, sitting down at a lunch table at a hotel in Johnstown, using salt and pepper shakers and sugar bowl to diagram plays.
You're watching an encore presentation of Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup hockey on the KBL Sports Network.
Penguins 5, the Stars 3 here in the third period. The winner of this game takes the lead in the series 3-2, and Jimmy Johnson of Minnesota coming to center. He will shoot it into the left wing corner of the Penguins in, and Paul Stanton able to get to the puck. He'll flip it up the near wing, and the North Stars cut it off, and they drop into the corner. Samuelson again looking for the puck. Couldn't get it out. Madonna turned it back in behind the Penguin net. Around to the left wing boards. Bellows watching Broughton get a handle on it. Go to Jimmy Johnson. A shot and a good save by Peter Angelo on Jimmy Johnson. And the North Stars are alive and well. And here's Samuelson knocking down Neil Broughton after the whistle. You know, this team is not going to go quietly. I guarantee you that. Like I said, you're not playing a regular season game. This is for the Stanley Cup.
Paul Stanton went in, and it was almost as if he wanted to let Bellows get the puck first, or not. And rather than that, just take Bellows away. Don't worry about the puck for a moment. But Broughton was in there too, and that's the thing. The North Stars support the puck so well that they always have a second man ready to grab that loose puck when the first man goes in. Broughton jumped over there and was the second man in to get the puck, moved it to Jimmy Johnson, and he got a quick shot off, and Peter Angelo had a good glove save and then was able to find the puck and cover it up for the faceoff. Brian Bellows very good at coming off the boards, Mike. He protects the puck well along the boards with his hips, and then he just has that quick turn when he comes off the boards, and he'll really catch you, kind of spin you around, and be able to bounce off the boards and make plays.
He played with a guy, Dino Cicerelli, who was very similar to him in a lot of ways. And Dino, of course, now playing his hockey at Washington. Here's Dave Gagne in to step in against Ron Francis. Francis, Stevens, and Mullen. Left point, though. The North Stars go after it. Brian Glenn left in the slot, and Gordy Roberts corrals it. Roberts of Pittsburgh swinging up the center now to Joey Mullen. Mullen going to the North Star zone to Kevin Stevens. A big slap shot denied by Sean Chambers. Trickles to the near corner. Mullen trying to make a play. Francis looked for the loose puck. Has it in front. Now goes behind the net. Francis backdoored. Here's Stevens turning one back in front, but Francis can't get there. He's too well covered by Glenn. Behind the net. Stevens of Pittsburgh with a biscuit. Feeding it right in front. A soft little pass, but nobody's home.
Francis was stumped by Glenn.
Back come the North Stars. Four-man rush to the Penguins in, and they shoot it in. And Peter Angelo worked that through traffic back to center. Francis on a 3-on-2 coming back. The North Stars on a change. Mullen right side. Mullen shoots it. Hayward the save and the rebound. Grabbed by Francis in the right wing corner. Put it in behind the net for Joe Mullen. Dahlquist stepped into him and got the puck in the same motion. Good play by Dahlquist. Turned back to the blue line, and out it goes. Penguins poke it in, and the North Stars gain possession. Mark Tenorti with 15:53 to go in the third period. A lot of time. Pass through to the Penguin line. Recchi broke that up. And the North Stars wait to go in again. Dahlin around one man, can't beat another, but Tenorti has it in front for Duchesne, and he can't connect on that pass. On the right side, Bobby Smith. Flip it in front of the net. Samuelson got a piece of it. Can he bank it out? He does. And Lemieux back 2-on-2 with Recchi. Make it 2-on-3 now as Smith joins the play. Lemieux to Recchi on the left wing corner, but he's too well covered by Dahlquist. He throws it behind the net. Hayward came out. Lemieux had it. He almost put it in the open net as Hayward got out of that net. He gambled. Lemieux with that long reach almost put it in. Back come the North Stars. 3-on-2. Into the Penguins end. They go the right side. That's stopped. Johnson has it. He's in deep. Sanderson in front. Loose puck there. Who will get it? The North Stars fired in front. Duchesne shot. Came right up a skate and went right to the goaltender, Peter Angelo. Lemieux belting Duchesne. And Lemieux fakes his little throw to punch. But right in front, I think Duchesne's shot hit a skate and bounced right to Peter Angelo. It was headed to the net and hit something and carried him right to the Penguin goaltender. 15:09 left here in the third period. 5-3 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Pet Vision, your exclusive television source for 12 of the Penguins' top matchups this season. Purchase the full 12-game package from your local cable company, and you'll get the Stanley Cup champion New York Rangers, Wayne Gretzky's LA Kings, the Bruins, Canadiens, Devils, and more. The Pens' best games, live and commercial-free. Full-season subscribers also get a special discount price on any Pen Vision playoff games. Pen Vision is a snap to order. Just pick up a phone and call your cable company today.
Gaetan Duchesne almost made it 5-4. As that puck came trickling to the goal mouth. One of the North Stars fanned on it the first time, and the puck came back around, and somehow Peter Angelo held it out of the net. I think he pulled that out with a shaft of his stick almost unconsciously.
Duchesne's shot hit a skate, I'm telling you, on the way to the net, on the way in. It hit a skate and carried him right to Peter Angelo.
It looked like it hit Peter Angelo's stick.
Here's Loney bursting through traffic, going to the right side at center ice now, looking for a trailer and Bob Airy on the right wing of the North Star zone. Airy pulls up. He'll look, put it in the corner, and Duchesne is after it. Duchesne in front, and Duchesne lost his stick. He falls on top of the puck now. And Fraser will call for a face-off in the North Star zone. When in doubt, just fall on top of the puck, and Duchesne did that. He didn't have a stick.
Gaetan Duchesne, not noted as a goal scorer by any means, but he does have a big goal in this series. A goal to kind of put it away for the North Stars in Game 3.
By the way, Paul, before the game, Dave Fragesser, who was the son of Norm Fragesser, who passed away this season, ran the Penguins press box for many years in the players' room, and he, as much as anybody, would, of course, love to be a part of this all, and we sorely miss him. And I wish he was here to see what was happening here. The Penguins playing for the Stanley Cup, and shot to the net. Hayward turns that away to the near side for Mike Modano. And Modano with the puck shoots it ahead to the right wing side. That's all the way into Penguin real estate. Samuelson will touch it, and this is an icing call again against the North Stars. Off Samuelson. I live in a fantasy world for Alfie, Ron Francis, and Grant Jennings coming to the Penguins in early March. And here they are in the Stanley Cup Finals.
This is a big night for him, for the fans anyway, because all the placards that were given out tonight have Ulf on the back of them.
I'll tell you, fans got to realize now, those with radios in the crowd, this very well could be the last home game the Penguins have this year, one way or the other. And here is Jágr. So whatever cheers they have or anything left inside for the Pens, it might be wise now to open up the vocal cords, and we're back to play at center and the puck out of action again. We'll pause with 14:29 to go in the third. 5-3 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
We talk to you every night on the TV. We'd like to meet you in person on the water. Here's how.
First, you practice rowing a lot. No, really. We're going on the Carnival Superliner, the Ecstasy. It's the Sports Beat Cruise, January 20th through the 23rd.
We'll be leaving from Miami, going to Nassau, the Bahamas, and back again.
It's only $5.89 per person, plus port charges, includes all meals and airfare from any city east of the Rocky Mountains.
Call 1-800-354-8761 or your local AAA office.
You're watching an encore presentation of Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup Hockey on the KBL Sports Network.
He impersonates my favorite Elvis.
Your favorite Elvis.
Vintage Elvis.
Here's Area, head to Jágr now to the north side. They got around 1 man a second. Walks in on goal. A shot, and he's stopped by Hayward on a stick move there. Good stop by Brian Hayward. Jágr battling for the puck in behind the net again. Glenn trying to take him out of the action, and Jágr just will not be denied. He is unbelievable in his strength and persistence. Jágr around that net. Jágr again, feed it in front, and Airy can't get himself free. Jágr was decked and knocked down by Kerry Frazier. Back come the North Stars. 5-3 the score. The Penguins lead. Into Pittsburgh ice, and the North Stars are offside, and Bellows was hit on the face with a stick. Brian Bellows, and now Stan and Kerry Frazier have a little chat, and I was thinking that Bellows might be taking a look at, Frazier might be taking a look at Brian Bellows. Penguin coach Barry Smith calling for Frazier to come over. Brian Glenn was all over Jágr, but Jágr with a great ability to stay on the skates. You talk about balance. This guy has perhaps among the top 3 in the league already at 19 years of age. And finally, they just rammed him down. It's the only way you can get him off his skates.
He's like a bronco buck, isn't he? He looks like a horse. Those guys ride him, and he throws them.
13:56 left here in the third period. Pittsburgh 5 and Minnesota 3. Jaromir Jágr with only 3 playoff goals, but he certainly has had the number of shots in the regular season, of course. 20-plus goal scorer for the Penguins in his rookie year. Dahlquist handles the puck from the face-off. Open into the left wing corner, and Pietrangelo turns it over to Larry Murphy. Frank Pietrangelo replacing Tom Barrasso in the second period. Turtle put a big check on Kevin Stevens, and Stevens belts him back. Still in Penguin ice, and the Penguins dumping up the boards, and this will be an icing call against the Penguins. And they bring it back into Pittsburgh's end of the rink.
And the tough guys are out here again for the North Stars. Basil McRae and Shane Churla.
And the face off to the left of goaltender Frank Pietrangelo. Bob Johnson in the Stanley Cup Finals for the second time in his career, losing to the Montreal Canadiens the last time out. And this is the first trip, naturally, with the first-year coach Bob Gainey of the North Stars as a coach for the Stanley Cup Finals, but he has been there, of course, as a player many times with the Montreal Canadiens.
Joey Mullen out here for the Pens.
Trottier, Mullen, and Francis.
Joey Mullen has been a real star in this series.
He has been tremendous in the series. A lot of little things and very consistent, very unnoticed. Has not scored a goal, but he has certainly been a big part of it all. Around the left side, Tenorti shooting the puck, deflected by Trottier, and it comes back to center.
And that was their job, just get it out.
And Roberts handles the puck, move it up the left wing of the North Stars line. Francis trying to go in, and another offside play.
Joey Mullen has points in 11 of his last 12 Stanley Cup final games dating back to the '86 playoffs.
He had 2 assists in game 4. I should add. He hasn't scored a goal, but he has certainly added in the playmaking department. Big addition for the Penguins.
Another assist here tonight. And you know, Mike, he's a perfect example. You saw that play there. And also the assist he made on Phil Bork's goal on the empty net. Perfect example of a guy who makes defensive plays and turns defense into offense by making big defensive plays. He's over to get the puck out and ends up leading to 2 goals. Ronnie Francis got the one here tonight. Bork got the one the other night.
And now Francis reunited with Stevens and Mullen as the faceoff was at the North Stars blue line and dumped away to Penguin territory. Murphy stopping behind his own goaltender Frank Pietrangelo. And Pietrangelo to Gordy Roberts. Roberts at center. This is the 103rd game for the Penguins this year. Dumped to the North Star zone and off the stick of Hayward to Bobby Smith. Penguins could play 105 including the regular season and the playoffs, not including the exhibition slate. I think they had 12 or 13 this year. Well, it's a lot of hockey. And it all boils down to this. Best 2 out of 3. And Dahlin now in the Penguin zone. Trying to put it behind the net. Murphy makes a good play to knock it away. He was tripped and knocked down. Goes on top of the puck. And the face-off will be in the Penguins. And again, Tenorti takes a whack at Joey Mullen as he comes in on him. Mark Tenorti muscling his way in on Joe Mullen.
Murphy was tripped in the corner. Nothing called. Ended up on top of the puck.
I think Mullen's frustrating the North Stars with the hustle and the desire that he has. And Tenorti and Mullins bark at one another. We'll return. Penguins 5, Minnesota 3 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
I'd go to the games if the Penguins never won another game. But the greatest thing about what they've accomplished the last couple of years to me, being a native of this town, is all the other people that have come to appreciate the game of hockey, and now everybody likes it.
Gagne and the North Stars win the draw. Gavin with a backhander and up the blocking glove of Pietrangelo. Roberts up in it by Gavin and the North Stars after in the Penguin zone to the left point. Wilkinson lost it to Trottier and fired away back to center ice. The North Star Jimmy Johnson gives it to Gavin. Back to the Penguins in front now. He's got a man there. A backhander by Prop goes in. The North Stars make it 5-4. Prop and Gagne around that net. And the North Stars creep right back into this hockey game with 12:18 to go in regulation. And they've made it 5-4. I'm not sure if Prop or Gagne will get credit for the goal. But they were right there, and it's now a 5-4 game. The goal at 7:42. They dumped it right to the net. Prop shot it originally. It went off Pietrangelo. It may have gone in the net and out and put back in by Gagne. I think Prop's going to get the goal.
And was counting on their defensive players, Trottier, Bork, to do the job for them now. And perhaps protecting the lead again. And we hadn't seen Mario Lemieux for quite some time. Of course, the tempo of this game has been slowed by a lot of stoppages, offside plays. And now Lemieux is out here with Recchi. So the Penguins will obviously be going back on the attack now. And the North Stars have some serious momentum.
Gagne the goal, scoring for the North Stars, is second of the night and 12th of the playoffs. And it's now a 5-4 game. Prop and Gavin will get an assist on it. And I think Jimmy Johnson's the man that made that play to head it in. He didn't get an assist on it, but he made a good play to spark Gavin in. Lemieux is knocked down to the North Star zone. And here is Brian Glenn. 5-4 the score. The Penguins lead. Brian Bellows cutting his way to the Penguin zone. To the right wing over to Neil Broughton. Broughton shoots it. It was deflected. Picked up now by Modano of Minnesota. He lost the puck to Mario Lemieux. Penguins in this game led 4-0. Minnesota trying to come back and a giveaway by Lemieux. Here's Bellows up in it. Loose in front though. Broughton now man in front. Shot. Stopped by Pietrangelo as he got that and knocked it away with his shoulder. The North Stars came that close to putting it in and tying the game. Recchi pressured by Neil Broughton. Broughton knocked down by Taglianetti, but Bellows has a penalty coming up against the Penguins. Taglianetti dumped one of the North Stars. Here's Samuelson off the boards, and now Samuelson battling with Brian Bellows, but Pittsburgh's going to be shorthanded. And with 11:20 to go in regulation, a ton of time left in this one. 5-4, the Penguins lead on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, Jaromir Jagr, and the Pittsburgh Penguins. And you. They're going to put you all in the movies. Be in the crowd on September 29th, October 3rd, 4th, 7th, and 10th for the shooting of the major motion picture Sudden Death starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I think you planned too far ahead.
Make your plans in advance to join the crowd scenes at the arena. Free food and drink and lots of prizes. Lights, camera, and action.
You're watching an encore presentation of Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup hockey on the KBL Sports Network.
Well, the penalty killers are going to be called upon again to hold off the Storm. And they did it the other night when the North Stars were able to creep back to within one. They were the guys who made made the difference in the end.
Watching Bobby Clark, the general manager of the North Stars, down on my left here, standing, biting his nails as he watches this game. Very intent look. Very quiet guy, unassuming guy in person, but you can just see the intense and the pressure on him right now as he stares on.
North Stars playing desperately and have been able to just go into the attack and think attack all the way. Get themselves back into this game here in the third period.
They've had 7 shots in the period. The Penguins have had 3. And it's a 5-4 hockey game. Pittsburgh leading, but the North Stars threatening to tie it here on a power play opportunity. Gillen against Smith, and Randy Gillen won that faceoff. The North Stars after it around to the near boards. It comes to Broughton, however. Right behind the net to Bobby Smith. Smith wheel and deal. To Bellows to the left point to Neil Wilkinson. Turns. Will he try and shoot it? No, he goes over to Bellows. Bellows now gave it away to Randy Gillen. Gillen trying to bank it ahead. Remember, too, the North Stars have scored 2 short-handed goals here tonight. And they have been big goals, and part of the reason why they're back into this game 5-4. And chasing up on the play will be Chambers to the left wing to Wilkinson. He'll dump it in. Peter Angelo going for the puck. Around the boards with Bobby Smith. Steals for the North Stars. Lemieux in. He put it towards the net. Stan deflects that. Bobby Smith really using the backhand a lot, and Lemieux rams it up the ice surface to the North Stars goal. Where it's stopped by goaltender Brian Hayward, who took over for John Casey in period number 1. And for the Penguins, it poked in 4 by him. They have one more. And here is Bellows down the left wing with the Penguins in. Trying to get around Stan, trying to center it. Couldn't get it through. Lemieux battling for it. The North Stars on the power play. And it's knocked aside by Roberts up to Bob Airy. Airy going to Wilkinson. Penalty coming up against the North Stars. Gagner knocked down Lemieux. That's going to even it up. And the Penguins force it to the North Stars goal where it's touched by Brian Hayward, but a tripping call against Minnesota. So Gagner draws the penalty.
I don't know if the Penguins should decline the power play that they'll get after 51 seconds or not, the way the North Stars have been able to score shorthanded goals. Just decline the penalty. I don't want to do that, though, because at least it's even up now. At least they're not shorthanded.
The North Stars now 0 for 4 on the power play. And this will be the Penguins' 6th opportunity.
It's absolutely amazing the way penalty killing can give a team a lift.
The Penguins prior to this are 2 for 5, but they'll be at equal strength for 51 seconds, so they'll be 4-on-4 hockey. Let's see what the 2 coaches decide to do. They'll keep Lemieux on the bench, I would think, here and work him on the power play, which will have 1 minute and 9 seconds to work with. Prince is more of a defensive role here, I would think, for the Penguins in this situation, in a 4-on-4 against Bobby Smith and Mike Modano.
Got some good speed and size up front.
Roberts and Murphy will become the 2 Penguin steadiest defensemen. And here's Murphy from the face-off, shooting the puck wide of the net. How about the goal Stevens had that got by Casey, came off the boards? You got to remember that one, too. Kind of a gift going away for the Penguins, and they made it happen. And the North Stars have 2 shorthanded. They've gone back and forth, these 2 teams, 5-4. Mullins mugged to center ice by Brian Glenn and knocked down. Cross-checking call against Brian Glenn. He drilled Joe Mullen in center ice.
That's the kind of stuff the North Stars have been doing a lot of in this series and getting away with it. Plays behind the plate. Remember the other night when Loney got elbowed? This time, Kerry Fraser was even further behind the play. He wasn't up on the play and looking back. He was behind those guys. And when you're behind the play, you better make sure the referee isn't looking. How could he know that? Because Fraser was behind him. Glenn just drilled Joey Mullen with the stick. He used the stick on him. He kind of defended himself against one player, and then as soon as he saw Mullen, he just put that stick right up into his head, clothesline.
Well, in 35 seconds, the Penguins are going to have a 2-man advantage against Minnesota. 3 times in the series, Minnesota's had a 2-man advantage. The Penguins have had it once back in Game 1. And now they'll get their second opportunity here when the penalty expires at Taglianetti. That is assuming that things remain the same right now. We've had a lot of penalties called here in a hurry. And anything is possible. It'll be a 4-on-3 situation right now. So Lemieux and Recchi come on with Coffey and Murphy. See the change for the Penguins personnel-wise? Put the offensive guns out now, and here's Coffey. 9:50 to go in the third period. 5-4 the Penguins lead. Left wing pass to Recchi. He looks for the hat trick. He has 2 tonight. Off to the left point to Coffey. He maneuvers it over to Murphy, right point. Triangle for the North Stars. They try and kill the penalty. Coffey now to Murphy. Murphy moves in, doesn't shoot it. Pulls back, goes to Coffey. 17 seconds to go on the penalty to the Penguins. Now to Lemieux near board. Lemieux holding that biscuit. Over to the near side to Recchi. Back to Lemieux. He'll give it to Coffey. Slap shot. Missed the mark. And along the near side, Lemieux comes in, takes the man out of the play, and makes the pass, two in the same motion to Coffey. Into the corner for Mark Recchi. Two-man advantage right now. The Penguins have Paganini racing to the bench, and here comes Stevens on. The Penguins with a two-man advantage. They now have 1 minute to go on the penalty. The Lemieux left side, a shot. Missed the net. Off the glove, actually, a Hayward right point. Murphy of the Penguins. 5-on-3. Penguins lead 5-4. Recchi to the right point to Murphy. Center point to Coffey of Pittsburgh. Back to Murphy. Will he shoot it? He does, and it hit Sean Chambers. Deflected wide. Recchi of the Penguins comes up with it. Going to Murphy. Murphy on the right side. 43 seconds to go. Going to Recchi. Lemieux stands around the net. They don't go to him. It goes to Coffey. Left point. Coffey shoots it deflected, and it went wide. Murphy after it. He can't get there, and it goes 5 all the way to center. Coffey has to hurry over with a half a minute to go in the two-man advantage. Coffey giving the puck to Lemieux behind the defense. Walks in. Lemieux, they say, was offside. They're saying it was a two-line offside pass. That's what they're saying. He was not offside of the blue line, that he was offside on a two-line offside pass, which means the pass originated from behind the blue line, touched by Lemieux across center red. Watch Coffey skates.
No, he's in the neutral zone. He thinks Lemieux was just offside at the blue line.
Now the Penguins have called a timeout with 26 seconds to go in the two-man advantage. In a crucial part of this hockey game with 8:37 left in regulation.
Yeah, because as we've told you, how much life have the North Stars been able to get from their penalty killing? It has given them tremendous boosts of confidence throughout this game, and this is an opportunity for them to find one more.
And two shorthanded goals, no less. Two shorthanded goals on the night.
Right, so the Penguins realize this is the opportunity for them to not salt it away, but certainly take a lot of wind out of the North Stars' sails. And they've got the talent to be able to make it happen on the ice right now. Look at all the offense on the ice.
I'll tell you,
Stevens, Coffey, Recchi, and Murphy.
You look back on the second period when Brian Hayward stopped Lemieux on a breakaway, Gillen on a breakaway coming in. He's been he's been tough when he's had to be.
Yep.
Penguins haven't had many shots here. They haven't had any on this power play opportunity at all.
They haven't been trying to shoot it. They've been trying to make the perfect play, and why not? You've got 5 players to their 3 and try to get the odd man advantage down low around the goaltender and make the easy goal, make it look easy anyway, but
they don't have a lot of time.
Good job on the triangle. They don't.
26 seconds. That's not a whole lot of time, especially when the face-off is at center ice.
This is a huge face-off for Mark Recchi against Neil Broughton.
They stare into one another. Puck drop. Broughton won it. And it goes to Mark Tinordi. Tinordi rapid down the boards into the Penguins end to Paul Coffey. 20 seconds to go. Coffey brings it up. Final rush on the two-man advantage. To the North Star zone. Given out to Stevens. Stevens the right side has Recchi. The pass a little behind him. Has to slow down and get it. Goes to Lemieux in front. He fanned on it. It came off the heel of a stick on the North Stars. Clear to the blue line, but not out. Great play by Murphy to hold it in. Left side, Coffey. Now down to Lemieux. Lemieux hold it. Two-man advantage off of the pansy. Trying to finish. It comes to Stevens. He shoots it and he missed the net. First penalty's over. 15 seconds to go in the second. Stevens of Pittsburgh. Stevens now looking for somewhere to go with it. Goes to Recchi. Behind the net to Lemieux. Lemieux. Wheel and deal. Center in front. Recchi's there. His shot. Hayward stops him, and Recchi is dumped by Jimmy Johnson as he slammed him to the ice and hit him in the back of the head. Trying to clear him out of there, and he really rattled him, and Recchi appears to be hurt on that play.
That's a cross-check if I ever saw one.
Mark Recchi will get himself back up, and Jimmy Johnson and Neil Broughton now yelling at referee Kerry Frazier about something here. We'll see what the penalty, if there's going to be one here, will be what will be issued. Here comes Frazier over. 5 seconds to go, and Tinordi's the man that's going in. Mark Tinordi will get a penalty, but so will Kevin Stevens. That was away from the play. Johnson, the guy that hit Mark Recchi, and that was not where the penalties will be called from.
Mark Recchi is probably like waking up in the middle of the night thinking about all these hits he's taking.
Hayward just made a gigantic save on Recchi there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Recchi didn't get much on that shot. Stevens had a great chance in the slot and tried to wrist one high under the crossbar.
2-minute minors each for roughing to Tinordi of Minnesota and Stevens of Pittsburgh, and the penalties at the 12-minute mark. You look at that clock, there's a whole lot of time left here in regulation.
I'll tell you, Mike, every single one of these games for the Penguins has been gut-wrenching. The only one that seemed to be easy was game 2, because Lemieux scored that big goal to make it 3-1, and then the Penguins were able to just hold off the North Stars the rest of the way and win the game 4-1. But this has just been nerve-wracking for the fans again.
Well, when you get to the finals, you wouldn't expect it any other way. You know, I mean, that's the beauty of it. Two good teams that have made their way to the finals, and they battle each other all night long for an effort to win this series. Penguins lead 5-4. Francis and the North Stars in. Ronnie Francis right now with a go-ahead goal in this game, but here is Neil Broughton directing it back to center. Stevens slams it back off the boards into the Minnesota goal area. And Brian Hayward, the North Stars killed 2 big penalties here in the third period. Remember the lift of the game, the Penguins, but the North Stars trail in this game. They need a goal to tie. They have the puck at center now. Jimmy Johnson sneak it down the boards. Back behind the Penguin net. Peter Angelo gets it off to Larry Murphy. Murphy around. And Joey Mullen dish it off to Troy Loney. Loney coming to the North Stars line. A drop pass. Maybe not be the time here for drop passes here in a 5-4 game in the third period.
Let's get it in deep.
You got to get it in deep. You got the 1 goal lead. You don't want to get fancy at that blue line and give it away. And here's Trottier. Trottier now giving the puck to Loney, and he shoots it. That'll miss the net. Along the far boards, Loney goes in, and Dahlquist waited up the wood and back to center. Ball Stanton of Pittsburgh. Backpedaling to his own blue line. Flips that one towards the Minnesota net, and Hayward got a stick on it. Leaving the biscuit for Chris Dahlquist. 6:59 to go in the third period. Long lead pass all the way to the Penguin goal, and Frank Pietrangelo, who did not start this game, Tom Barrasso did, and Barrasso leaving at the end of the first period with a 4-1 lead. He'll not be the goaltender of record in this game, by the way. Pietrangelo stands to win it or lose it. And here to the near boards, it'll be Modano in the Minnesota zone. Yager putting pressure on him. Chambers getting possession of the puck. As I said, this might be the last game for the Penguins here in this building all year long. It's 5-4 Pittsburgh. And Modano shoots it into the left wing corner off the boards. Bellows comes in. He feeds it in front. And it's off the stick of Pietrangelo. The North Stars in and get the loose puck. And chopped away by Trottier, but not out. Roberts after it. Minnesota puts it behind the net. And Trottier with a good play. In on Bellows, put the hip into him, but the Penguins can't clear it out. And now they jam it in the corner, and they'll hold it there. 6:08 to go. Every second so precious. Tense here in this third period, and that clock seems to be moving ever so slow. We'll be back. Penguins by 1 on the Penguins Hockey Network.
You're watching an encore presentation of Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup Hockey on the KBL Sports Network.
I think the key word for Pittsburghers is loyal. They are extremely loyal to not only their players and teams, but people that work for them too. And I think that's the greatest thing that I have cherished over the years.
Well, we've had a lot of goals scored in this series. And 9 scored in the first game. Of course, 8 more in the last one, and 9 here again tonight. So it's been a goal-scoring series.
I remember talking to Harry Neal before Game 1. We were walking down to the hotel together, and he said, I think you're going to see a lot of 6-4 games in this series. He really believed there'd be a lot of scoring. He had seen a lot of Minnesota, not much of Pittsburgh throughout the playoffs.
Been pretty close to that. Shots are 27-23 in favor of the Penguins. Face-off Penguin zone, and here is Larry Murphy coming away with it. Murphy, the Penguin defenseman, just glides it back into the North Stars net area. Hayward will stop it. We have 6 minutes to go in regulation. Jimmy Johnson around the boards and sends it away back to center, but Murphy's there again. And he'll drill it into the left wing side of the North Star zone. The Kieran behind the net. For Neil Wilkes on the North Star defenseman. Penguins led 5-2 going into this third period. Collins scored early. And then the goal by Dave Gagne made it 5-4. That's where we are now. Played around by Roberts off the boards, and again back to Minnesota territory. Pittsburgh will be guilty of an icy play here with 5:32 to go. We'll pause one more time. Break quickly. 5-4 Pittsburgh on the Penguins Hockey Network.
They're an incredible collection of stars who play together as a team, and they entertain the heck out of anybody who watches them. To me, we are spoiled because we're seeing some hockey right now. I mean, it's like an all-star team that plays every night, and we're really lucky to be able to watch them, and I think it's a privilege to call the games.
With Paul Steigerwald, Mike Lang here at the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh. Penguins in the playoffs, 8-4 at home. Minnesota on the road, 6-5 overall.
Leary right now. The North Stars shooting the puck from the points and driving to the net. They win faceoffs. Scored a lot of goals in previous series on shots from the point.
Not scored a whole lot in this series.
No, they haven't.
They haven't. The Penguins have contained them in that department. Here is Broughton on with Modano and Brian Bellows. Bob Gainey making making a few changes in his lines here tonight against the Penguins.
Face-offs are gigantic right now, obviously.
Back the Penguin defenseman along with Ulf Samuelsson. And they're jockeying for position here as we await the draw. Francis Mullen and Trottier. Basic three-man defensive unit for the Penguins. Loose in the circle. Trottier kicks out. It goes to Samuelsson, but he can't clear. Wilkinson left point. Neil Wilkinson of Minnesota. Slider behind the net. Here is Samuelsson right there. Ulf Samuelsson takes the puck. Neil tapping off the boards, but not out of the zone again. The North Stars with good pressure. Samuelsson has to corral it one more time. Samuelsson played the entire playoffs when he's been in there with a broken hand. Out to center to Francis. Now going to the North Stars end against Jimmy Johnson, trying to pull it around him, and Johnson stands him up. Had his helmet turned back a little bit, did JJ. And now play continues the other way. Back to Neil Broughton. Broughton looking for a breaking Modano. Modano can't take the pass. Pack is all over him. And Kevin Stevens will pull in to take the puck. 4:58 to go in regulation. 5-4 the Penguins lead here in Game 5 of this series. And the series tied at 2 apiece. Mark Tenodi of Minnesota guns his way to center, going to the Penguins end on the left wing. And the left side stops for Modano. His shot blocked. He gets it back on a man right in front. Here's Broughton. He gets the pass. Trying to make another pass, and he couldn't get it through. A shot by Broughton now as the puck was in front, and he bounced it off the side of the net. Now behind the goal. The North Stars bring it in deep, and here's Tenodi. Turned around by Stevens and rattled against the boards on a heavy check. Lemieux falls down. He gets the puck to Mark Recchi, and Recchi ahead down to Larry Murphy with a breaking. Stevens ahead. Gets it to him. Stevens one man to beat. Coming for the net. Stevens shoots, and he missed the goal. Stevens draped over by Sean Chambers, and now Stevens takes a whack at Chambers, and he gets himself back up without a stick. Turned in behind the Minnesota net area. Boy, Stevens showing great strength to just shrug off Tenodi on a booming check in the corner back in the Penguin zone. He is a tough, big guy. Gavin now with a pass to center to Gagne. We approach 4 minutes to go in regulation. Gagne steers it to the Penguins in, and Peter Angelo up to the head of Recchi, who was hit hard against the boards by Stuart Gavin. Dahlquist pulling back now to his own end. Turns around from a check by Brian Trottier. 5-4 the score. The Penguins lead. And here on the play is Gagne going to the Penguins end. Long slap shot. Peter Angelo had trouble with it, but he made the save, and the rebound furred up ahead back to center. I'll tell you, that tense moment we had moments before when Broughton should have shot the puck, and he did. He tried to make the perfect play. Inside the Penguin blue line, Murphy wheels it back off the boards to the Minnesota blue line. The crowd now with 3.5 to go into this game. 5-4 Pittsburgh. Penguins trying to hold on to win game 5, and they shoot it up ice. Backing the puck to the North Star zone, and Hayward's going to come out. He'll move it around to the far wing, and the Penguins pitch in. They get the puck. Loney's got it. Loney cutting for the net. He's right in on goal, but he had a poke checked away at the last second by Dahlquist. Here come the North Stars on the attack. On the counterattack, Wilkinson going to the Penguins blue line. Cuts across as a man open left wing, but he's checked from behind. Can he get a play? Backhand shot. The nest is lodged, though. Bobby Smith in front of that goal, and play is whistled down. They'll stop the play with a face-off in Penguin territory with 3 minutes and 4 seconds to go in regulation. Boy, Troy Loney had a chance in the Minnesota end coming down. He tried to turn it over, it looked to me, into the forehand, and as he did, it was poke checked off his stick, and Wilkinson racing back on the play back to the Penguin zone.
I'll tell you, I looked at that play, and for a moment, I thought maybe the guy coming down that left side who ended up going to the net was offside on the play, but it was very close to that blue line.
That was the play I was talking about. Broughton, he should have shot the puck there. He
didn't get control of it right away, Mike. I think he just didn't have control of it to pull the trigger, and the Penguin defenseman went down to block the shot.
Very well could have been what happened. It might have been on edge, bouncing, and he just couldn't get control of it by that little quarter of a second, allowing the defenseman to come over and force him wide and try to make a play back in front.
Another huge face-off. The crowd is a factor now, Mike.
Trottier has been given the assignment here in defensive face-offs in his own end here in this third period. Bobby Smith against Trottier. Pittsburgh 5 and Minnesota 4.
Believe me, there's a lot of strategy on face-offs. See the Penguins discussing their coverages on the draw, knowing what the North Stars might be trying to do, who they're going to try to bust to the net, who should go out to the point man if the puck is won by the North Stars. Lots of decisions to be made.
Bobby Smith and Trottier to the right of Peter Angelo. And they won the face-off. The North Stars pull it back, but it comes to center ice. Mike Modano has to go back. They're putting an extra man out here, a forward. And a long shot by Modano. They're really trying to tie this game right now. Modano is an extra forward out. He was playing the left point, though. Tenodi had moved in on the play on the face-off, and I just wanted to double-check that. And the puck out of action now to the Penguin bench. And Lemieux throws it up into the seats.
Tenorti is such a force, Mike, down low around that net early in the game.
That's why they had him down there.
He looked like a big winger, didn't he? He just looked like he'd make a pretty good winger if he wanted to be one, the way he commands control of the puck.
Neil Wilkinson, he's played a lot of ice time here in the third period.
Ronnie Francis will step on for the Pens. Bob Johnson keeps calling him back.
Trottier once again handled the faceoff. He's done a pretty good job here. The North Stars, that is the one thing that I think they've had the big advantage over in the series so far is faceoff wins. Even in Game 4, if you saw the numbers printed by the Pittsburgh Press, they had a big advantage of faceoffs over the Penguins.
Bob Clark looks on. Bobby Smith. 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go in regulation.
It seems like 2 months and 23 days is what it seems like, time left. And here's Trottier and Smith one more time. Move Tenorti up again, and here's the face-off, pulled over to Larry Murphy. Trottier's won a couple of big face-offs here, and Murphy shoots it off the boards and back to center. Chambers came on. He'll get to the puck for the North Stars. Sean Chambers lost it to Francis now in the Minnesota zone. Francis in the right wing corner. Comes in and Tenorti slams him against the boards. Penguins will take a face-off if they can get it here. They jam it up kick free. And Lemieux is on for the Penguins coming out of Neil Broughton. Broughton with 2 minutes to go in the third period. Flipping up to the left wing side of the Penguins ends. They dump it in. Letting Loney go back to get to the puck. He fanned on the attempted play to get it out. It comes around behind the goal. Lemieux of Pittsburgh. Shoot it out the referee Frazier, but Francis has it. And Ronnie Francis giving the puck to Larry Murphy. Murphy moving to the North Stars blue line. Going for the net is Loney. Murphy comes back and shoots at the stop made. The rebound. Where's the puck? Did it go in? Yes, it'll be a goal. Loney's going to get the goal, I believe. And the Penguins lead 6-4. And you'd have to be here to believe that goal. I'm not sure how it went in. It was shot by Murphy. It hit somebody and then went in. And Hayward looking to the Stars, literally, to find out what happened. And I'm not sure what did transpire. Loney went to the net. He just jammed in.
I think it went off his skate and into the net. Gary Frazier not going to wave this off, I do not think. The North Stars wanted to. It looked for a moment like the linesmen were going to chase Gary Frazier down. And don't be surprised if he goes over and calls the goal judge on this.
Murphy just shot it towards the net. Loney went right to the goal. The North Stars taking him in there. I still don't know how it went in. It might have hit the Neil Broughton who was coming back.
I think it did hit Neil Broughton. Loney just kind of kept going to the net. Broughton was on him. He gave him a little push. Loney went right into the goaltender. And there's no way Loney could have kicked that in because he just wasn't in a position to do it. He was being pushed from behind by Broughton. Now we have a big conversation at center ice, but that is a goal. It really is. It was not kicked in. And Lord knows we saw in Game 1 the way the North Stars went to the net and got themselves a goal. Loney went in. He was pushed from behind by Broughton. And I think that puck went ultimately off the skate of Broughton and into the net.
Well, the Penguins have scored to make it 6-4, and Troy Loney has been credited with a goal. Loney is cashed in with his second of the playoffs.
Mike, the scoreboard says something that I know you would like to say in a little while, but you ain't saying it yet.
No, I'm not. And just to let's set the record straight, they put it up on the board. Murphy and Francis on the goal by Loney. It's just not time. A minute and a half to go.
Long time yet.
They jumped the gun a little too soon. Here's Gagne. Gagne's pass. Up the center ice. It will come to Brian Propp. Now to Chambers, and he'll drop it into the Penguins' end. Around to the left wing corner. Gagne gets to the puck. Got a man open. Chambers shoots it. It was deflected. Penalty coming up against the Penguins, however. Are they going to pull their goaltender? No, they pulled the goaltender now with a minute 12 to go. Bellows centers it back. It comes to Chambers. Chambers shoots it. One right over the head of Peter Angelo. Around to the near boards with a minute 5 to go. Empty net down to our left. Penguins have it, and they blast it up the length of the ice. The North Stars after it. Chambers will get there, and we have an icing call against the Penguins. And we've got Lemieux tied up back on the North Stars in with 2 Minnesota players, and Gagne's one of them.
Look at Mario. Look at the intensity on his face. You know, Mike, icing the puck in that situation is not a problem when you're up by 2 goals. You wouldn't want to do that when you're only up by 1. You never would. But it's okay to do it when you're up by 2. And now the faceoff comes back into the Penguins' end.
Boy, Roberts took a big shot at one of the North Stars. I think that was Duchesne in front of the net.
Mario took Gagne hard into the boards. He thought there was going to be a penalty called. He turned and put his hands up like, I didn't do anything wrong, just in case you were going to call a penalty. And then Gagne came right back at him. Mario answered that with a shot to the face.
Bellows over to get between the two.
Mario's going off here.
Well, Lemieux's going to be gone.
And so is Gagne.
No, that's what happened. It came off Hayward, went back and hit Broughton's skate, and he directed it in. That's what happened on the It came off the goaltender, and it hit Neil Broughton, and then Karam did. That's what happened on the play.
See what can happen when you go to the net. We saw number 24 of the North Stars going to the net with tremendous authority. Early in this series, we haven't seen it quite as much, but Loney went crashing in that time and got a goal out of it.
Lemieux and Gagne head off here at the 19:02 mark of regulation. Penalties, and again, Murphy shot it. It came off Hayward, it appeared. Right back out and hit the skate of Neil Broughton and then deflected behind his own goaltender to give the Penguins the goal. Loney went right into the net in the same motion. Lemieux and Gagne roughing calls at 19:02. And the Penguins are 58 seconds away from gaining the edge in this series, 3-2, with Game 6 to be played at Minnesota on Saturday night. The North Stars will face elimination if the Penguins hold on here. And another 3-hour game here between these two clubs. It isn't over yet. Back and play some hockey now with a face-off at the Minnesota line. Hayward is back in the net. He had been pulled moments ago, but he's back in the cage now with a face-off at the Minnesota blue line. And Bobby Smith steps in here against Francis. By the way, Murphy's shot came from the left wing circle as he came into the Minnesota end, then hit Hayward, and Loney was going to the net. Broughton pushed him towards a goal. It hit Hayward, came off, hit Broughton's skate, and deflected into the net. And a false face-off will do it again. Penguins led 4-0 in this game, and they've held on for dear life in this third period. Got a big goal by Troy Loney as it was credited to him, and that might be changed too, though. Might end up going to Larry Murphy, but nonetheless, the Penguins shoot into the North Stars in with 48 seconds to go. Here comes Hayward off. The North Stars get to the Penguin line, and they're offside, going to Penguin territory. 42 seconds left here in regulation. Smith turns and looks at the scoreboard clock, seeing the Penguins ahead 6-4. Remember, if a 7th game is necessary in this series, it'll be played on Tuesday night here at the Civic Arena. Somebody showered Bob Gainey with some confetti. And here's the draw, and the North Stars win it. They shoot it in. Here comes Hayward off again. They pull the goaltender, with the extra attacker is Brian Propp. But Bob Airy takes it away and bangs it back to the North Stars zone, not anywhere near the net. Brian Propp with a half a minute to go. Giving it to the left wing. It goes by Tenorti into Penguin territory. And grabbed now by Ulf Samuelsson, but it's going to be an offside play. And now Samuelsson runs into Brian Bellows as Tenorti is over on top of Ulf Samuelsson. But the North Stars were called on an offside infraction. Or is it going to be worse than that? It might be an icing call. Yes, it is icing. It was from behind center red when they shot it up. My apologies to you again. It's a two-line pass is what the call is. Two-line offside pass. And originate from behind the blue line. You get very close to those lines and trying to determine what the offside play is. But this is a two-line across two zones, across the blue line and red line, then touched by another member of the North Stars. He was pointed across the red line when he took the pass. Face-off won by Trottier. And jammed by Stanley into the zone. 19 seconds to go. And the Penguins with a 2-goal lead. Madonna pulling back. Penguins are going to take the lead in this series. Here comes Hayward off, and a shot to the Penguin net, stopped by Peter Angelo. He's going to be the winning goaltender tonight. The Penguins will go to Minnesota, and the puck played out of the Penguins' end with a 3-2 lead. It's all over. The Pittsburgh Penguins, led by Frank Peter Angelo, who came off the bench to replace goaltender Tommy Barrasso after the first period. Mario Lemieux coming from the locker room now to greet the Penguins as they come off. And the Penguins have won Game 5 of this series. Now have won 2 in a row. And they lead the series 3-2, and they have the opportunity to win the Stanley Cup for the first time in their history on Saturday night at Minnesota. Can you believe it? Maybe the last time the home folk get a chance to do exactly what they're doing right now for the Penguins, and that's cheer them on. Because there is a possibility of the Penguins winning the Cup on Saturday. The into the game. The score, the Penguins 6, Minnesota 4, here on the Penguins Hockey Network.
Hi, ladies. I hate to tell you this, but tonight's game is sold out, but I am happy to tell you that there's a season ticket plan for every fan. Just listen. And all the plans come at a great discount. The full season plan gives you the biggest per game discount of all. You won't miss a minute of action as you'll get tickets to all 41 regular season home games. Full season purchasers can take advantage of the only 12-month payment plan in all of professional sports. That's as long as 12 months over which to spread the cost of your season tickets, and it's all interest-free. Full season ticket holders can also take advantage of a ticket return plan and their own personal sales representative, somebody who's always just a phone call away. With the People's Choice Plan, you choose the 30 games you want to attend. That's the 30 games you want to see at a discounted per game price. The half-season plan gives you two options. The Gold plan is 20 pre-selected games, and the Black plan gives you 21 pre-selected home games, all at a great discount. The Sampler plan gives you a choice of 4 different pre-selected 10 and 11 game mini plans, again at a great discount. The Flex Coupon Book features 10 discounted coupons, each redeemable for a Penguins ticket. The coupons can be used in any combination, 1 coupon for each of 10 games, 2 coupons for each of 5 games, or all 10 coupons for 1 game. As I said, with the Penguins, there's a plan for every fan. All season ticket plans and Flexbook holders will receive playoff ticket priority over the general public. For information on Penguin ticket plans, just call 642-PENS. Operators are standing by now to take your call. Looking for a great night out for 20 or more of your friends, relatives, or co-workers? Try a Penguin home game. Groups of 20 or more can receive a great discount. Just pick a game and call the Pens at 642-PENS. If you're more interested in tickets for individual Penguins games, then call 333-SEAT. Those operators are seated. So what's that number again for season tickets?
642-PENS.
You got it.